Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Southerner's Northern Garden. So today I'm going to be doing a video on trimming my lavender hedge. One of the most magical parts of my garden is the lavender hedge. I love it up front. It gets really big and bushy, but I don't prune it in the fall because our winters can be particularly rough and I don't want cold and wet conditions getting into the roots and destroying or killing off the plant. So I typically prune it in the spring. This is Hidcote lavender. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it blooms beautifully all year for me, and it has a smaller size than a lot of other lavenders, so it allows me to create a nice lavender hedge in a smaller area. So the bees love this. It is constantly covered with bees in the spring. I do recommend that if you want lavender, don't grow it from seed. It's very difficult to grow from seed, and besides it taking a very long time, the variety that you're going to get if you want to create a hedge is not necessarily going to be the same. So lavender is typically grown, as most plants are, through cuttings, so it's propagated through cuttings. And so if you want something that is a consistent shape and a consistent size, you kind of have to go that route. And I actually got these, I think I ended up putting in 24 plants maybe. The Lowe's perennial plant sale in the spring is an excellent option. That's what I actually used to put this in. So I paid, I think, $4 for a either a half gallon or a 3/4 gallon container, and this is not good soil at all. So I was super concerned that it may not survive up here because lavender likes really dry, really free draining soil, and this soil right here is particularly prone to having clay in it. When our house was built, I guess they did not put good topsoil in this area. So what I did was I added some sand to the bottom of the hole for each one of these containers, or each one of these lavender, and they have actually thrived. They've done way better than I thought they would. I have not lost one yet. So how I prune my lavender in the spring is I just take a hedge trimmer and then I cut it off pretty short. Lavender can get very woody as it gets older, so you want to cut it down as far as you can without cutting it off at the ground, so that it will put on fresh, beautiful, new, soft growth. And this isn't my favorite job because it can be quite messy, but you better believe it smells great. So I'm going to get started and show you how I do this. So this method of pruning lavender works really well, but I want to get a little lower into the canopy of the plant, or closer to the root. I didn't want to do that on my first pass because I don't want to cut this off at the ground. If you cut it off at the ground, it's dead and it will not come back. So I'm going to take these pruners first and try and shape up a little closer to the root ball. And then I will come in with my clippers and just shape it up a little better. So all the growth of this year is fresh and new. It's already putting on new growth, so I want to make sure I get this pruned well, so it has a nice habit come the spring and summer. So here we go. So I hope you can see this well. I will show you at the end, but you can see it's just a nice tight ball right now. So we will get the rest of these pruned up, and I'll show you what it looks like on completion. One thing about leaving your lavender stand in the winter, it collects a lot of debris. So that's one of the downsides of leaving it stand, but I would rather have to clean up this debris in the spring than have lavender die and then have like a gap where I have to fill it in with a smaller plant, or have several of them die, which would be a travesty, because this is one of my most favorite things. It smells amazing in the summer, and it just looks beautiful and provides a lot of fun for the pollinators. So unlike pruning the hydrangea, you just want to get, there's no secret to where you clip the lavender because it will reproduce and sprout new growth all over the stem. So you just want to get enough of that growth down, because as this lavender gets older, it will continue to get extremely woody, and some parts of it will get very thick. So you want to get rid of as much of that as you can. Lavender will last a long time in your garden if you take care of it. If you don't, then it could be a short-lived perennial. Hi everyone, I'm done with this side of the lavender hedge. I've got another side to do, but I wanted to show you the progress so far. So as you can see, this is what you're kind of looking for, going for. You just want a nice rounded with some growth still left. So this is all kind of woody growth because this is where I cut it back every year. But as you can see right here, there's new growth starting already. So I wanted to make sure I got that cleaned up before this new growth started, so I didn't cut off any of that new growth. Now, one of the downsides, if you want to call it a downside, to trimming your lavender in the spring versus in the fall. I told you I do it in the spring because of our harsh winters, but if you leave it, as difficult as I said it was to grow lavender from seed, you will have it sprouting up everywhere probably. Why I can get it to grow like this and not from seed, I have no idea, but you probably want to pull this, and that's what I'll be doing, because it may not grow, it probably will not grow into the same variety and have the same habit as the other lavender, so I don't want it to look unkempt. If you wanted to put that in a little container and let it grow on some more, you could certainly do that and put it somewhere else in your garden. I have done that. I just don't want it in the same hedge in case it doesn't have the same habit, in case it cross-pollinated with any other variety of lavender I have. So that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. I'm going to get this other hedge cleaned up, which is over here, and then I'm going to continue on with some other projects. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to prune your lavender. A reminder, this is Hidcote lavender. Go grab you some at Lowe's this summer or this spring for $4 when they have their perennial sale, and put you in a lavender hedge. It certainly smells great. You can take clippings, carry it inside in bundles to hang in your shower. There are lots of different benefits to lavender. It's a great pollinator, and it's a little more hardier than some people think and easier to grow. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Southerner's Northern Garden, and I'll see you soon.